Hello, Gypsies. Hello, everyone. Gipsy Dean is back.
Okay.
I always wanted to make a video about my hometown, Longview, Washington, where I grew up and spent the first 34 years of my life. So we're here on the viewpoint on the other side of the river, and we're going to give you a panoramic view of Longview, Washington. Now in the distance, you can see on the extreme left, Reynolds Metals Company, but they're no longer in operation. Then next over is Weyerhaeuser and Weyerhaeuser Pulp. And then we see the city. It's behind the bridge, the city. This is where the city is located. You can't really see the city from here, but and there's the Rainier Bridge. Was built in 1931. And in the distance, what's left of Mount St. Helens. It's a clear day today, so we can see Mount St. Helens. Okay, now we're in historic downtown Longview. It's not the way it used to be, unfortunately. And across the street, we have the Senior Center. And next to it, the old Roxy Theater. It's had quite a facelift. It's no longer a theater. Okay, now entering downtown Longview. Unforgettable, too. Used to be Hillman's restaurant and bar. One of the really hot night spots a long time ago. Now it's a Vietnamese restaurant. And over here we have a parking lot. This used to be the A&W restaurant. And this is where people would do a U-turn to go back and cruise town some more in their cars. They had a restaurant there and they had a wired connection. So you could just sit in your car there and look at the menu and order, and the girls would bring the food out to you, hang it on your door. Here you see one of the old classic buildings. I don't remember what this place was. It's been changed hands so many times. It's a pawn shop now. Okay, this is the main 3 blocks of Commerce Avenue. Coming up. Here's some more classic architecture. Where the tattoo place is, there used to be the Sports Center Tavern. And on this side of the street was the Twin City Tavern. Another old building. Here's another corner on Longview's downtown. Across the street used to be Michael Bus. It was a clothing store. Although not exactly downtown, this is one of the classic stores of Longview. Bob's. Started out as a war surplus store and grew and grew and grew to be a big department store, sporting goods, clothing, you name it. Yeah, Bob's Sporting Goods. They even had another building over there. But it's past its glory days. Walmart and the big boxes have kind of put them in the back seat. Here's some classic architecture. I don't know what that store used to be, but the big long one in front of it was the Longview Mercantile building, and later became the Bon Marché department store. And now it's just a scattering of shops. Okay, on this corner here used to be Corton's Music Store. Corton's, music brings happiness, was their motto. It was a big place. They did a lot of business, selling TVs, appliances, musical instruments, records, you name it, they had music there. I was there many times. It was sad when they closed. Commerce Avenue and Broadway. There's the Mercantile. They call it the Merc now. Across the street was the Bowers Building. It's been all remodeled and new bricks and got it looking nice. Commerce Avenue. And Broadway. This is it. This was the main intersection here in Longview. And here in downtown Longview on Commerce Avenue is the Longview Theater. It's had quite a history, open and closed many times. Once it was a slot car track. They took all the seats out and put slot car racing in there. That didn't last very long, but it sure was fun. They remodeled it inside again. So they do have stage shows, and I don't know if they show movies there, but I don't think so. But now we're going to go see the main theater in Longview. Okay, down at this end of Commerce Avenue, getting close to the end, this building used to be the J.C. Penney store. They had two floors of clothes mostly. And across the street is where the Bank of America was. They recently, last month, closed this. On the other side of the street from J.C. Penney's was this building. It used to be Woolworth's, 5 and dime, little variety store. Hey, check out this mural. We're coming up on the Columbia Theater. Well, look at this classic building. I had an apartment there. On the left-hand side, with a window overlooking Commerce. It was cool. But my mother didn't like it. So she took me out of there and put me in her little rental home. And next to it was the Sears and Roebuck Company. Yes, the Sears and Roebuck Company. They had an auto center behind it. And everybody liked to shop at Sears because they had credit. Okay, here's the great, mighty Columbia Theater. It's been here a long time. Recently remodeled. They almost tore this building down, but the city council decided wisely to save it. Has all these apartments above it. And it's a grand theater inside. It's beautiful. Performing arts theater now. No more cinemas, just performing arts. So here's the Civic Center Park. Recently remodeled. Beautiful lawns, beautiful trees. Beautiful Longview. And there we have Longview's United States Post Office. Well, here in the Civic Center, we have this new war memorial. Have the names of all the Longview's veterans from World War II, the Korean War, and the Vietnam War. And in the backdrop, we have the Rotunda and Hotel Monticello. And here we have, around the Civic Center, the Hotel Monticello, the Grand Hotel. It's 100 years old. Quite a place in its time, and it's still going. Here we have the Longview Public Library. And in front of the library, we have a statue dedicated to R.A. Long, the founder of the city. Robert A. Long, founder of Longview, 1922. He was born in 1850, died in 1934. A great man. And next to the library, we have this beautiful rose garden. Look at the roses. They're all in bloom. Beautiful. Here we have under this awning a restored locomotive from the old logging days. This was one of the biggest logging areas in the world at one time. It had the largest sawmill in the world at one time. Long Bell Lumber Company. Joined later by Weyerhaeuser Lumber Company. And here we have the world famous Nutty Narrows Bridge. A bridge built using an old fire hose to protect squirrels crossing the road. So many squirrels were getting hit by cars, they built this bridge. And there's a couple more down there by the lake. And they do get used. They had a contest, and the first person to take a picture of a squirrel crossing that won the prize. The Nutty Narrows. So here's a monument to the Monticello Convention. In 1851, they had a convention here when this was just territory before it was states, and they got things organized. And here we have one of the entrances to Lower Columbia College, Cowlitz County's only college. Here it is, Robert A. Long High School. This is where I went to high school and graduated in 1970. My old alma mater, a grand high school. Monticello Middle School. Back when I went to school here, we call it Monticello Junior High. This is from grade 7 through 9. The Monticello Mustangs, that was our team mascot. Here we have Olympic Elementary School. This is where I went through grades 4th, 5th, and 6th. Nice school. So here we are at the north end of Lake Sacagawea. There's a water fountain that occasionally has displays. Here's one of several islands on the lake. This one is totally undeveloped. There's a well-developed path that goes all around the lake. And now we're at the very eastern edge, southeastern edge of the lake. If you look closely, you can see some ducks swimming. It's a beautiful park all right around the lake. Here's another view of the southeastern part of the lake. Oh, we have a lone picnic table here. One thing the lake lacks is more picnic tables. Another vista on the southeastern portion of the lake. Here's the island. And over there is a bench. Behind the bench is the lone picnic table. Here on the street next to the lake, on the north side, is a neighborhood of luxury homes. Well, not real luxurious, but very nice homes. This is the best part of the lake to live in. And you can see above, there's a bridge. It's a squirrel bridge. It's got a cautionary signs on it, alerting people to bicycle and pedestrian traffic also. Okay, now we're approaching the bridge to the island with the Japanese garden. Here we have a lady sitting in quiet solitude with this beautiful view. Here we are at the outer border to the entrance of the Japanese gardens. There's quite a field here too. Plenty of room for people. Now we see the bridge head to the Japanese garden. Let's go in and see what is in store. And if we look carefully into the lake, here we can see 4 very large fish. And I'm talking large. Okay, we're on the bridge to the Japanese garden. Okay, here we are. A nice little station here at the beginning. Some beautiful rhododendrons past their bloom. Okay, now we're at the tip of the Japanese garden, looking out over the southeastern portion of the lake again. There's a little stream coming through here. As we look into the sky today, we see some very pretty cloud formations. It's a beautiful day. The clouds only being here for decoration today. Okay, now we're looking back at the entrance to the Japanese garden. Another giant field here. And here's another very large field. And here's a place that brings back some special memories. We have these 3 large trees here, large and tall. So here we are at the trilogy. You can see the three tree trunks. Hey, it's like a tongue twister. And the middle one is split. That was the peace sign. This is why this place was so special for us young hippies back in those days. A place for meeting friends and getting high. That's right. And we also had a very beautiful view of the lake from here. And here you can see in the distance the bridge to the Japanese garden. Let's go see some more of Lake Sacagawea. Yes, this is the third bridge here, third automobile bridge across the lake, the newest one, although it's been here quite a while. Here we got some lily pods going on. Okay, now we're entering another section of Lake Sacagawea Park. This section of the lake has very little activity. Well, here's a nice four-sided picnic table. Looks like room for 8 people with no one around. Look at the trunk of this magnificent tree. There's many, many beautiful trees here around Lake Sacagawea. Here we have a rhododendron garden. There's a path on the other side where you can walk through. It's pretty much past the blooming season now. Sure wish I could have been here a month ago. Yes, here at Lake Sacagawea, there's plenty of Oregon ducks. Well, I don't know if they're from Oregon, but there's plenty of ducks, I'll tell you. And geese. Eight ducks in a row. You know, I wasn't sure if boating was allowed on Lake Sacagawea, but here we have a kayaker. I know they would never let anybody with a motor on, but unless maybe it was an electric motor, small one. Well, here I am at the lake, looking at the main portion, and here is the Hemlock Street footbridge, which collapsed. It was an old wooden footbridge, collapsed 4th of July in 1968, full of people. Many people were injured, but no one was killed, fortunately. So this is the most important area of the Lake Sacagawea Lake Park. This is where the big 4th of July celebration is held every year. Okay, we're across the bridge now. Okay, let's go have a closer look at Martin's Dock. Okay, now we have Martin's Dock. There's a couple of people fishing off it right now. You can see the fountain. And if you look directly forward, there's a tall tree over there. That's another island. And that from that island, they shoot the 4th of July fireworks off. This whole area will just be packed with people for 4th of July. Over here, there's the playground for the kiddies. Oh, here's a closer look at the playground. More or less for preschoolers. Oh, here's another panoramic view. On the left, you'll see the island and the launching spot for the fireworks. Here's the entrance to the island. Let's go in and have a quick look. There's the fountain. There's Martin's Dock. Here we are at the island. Got a little picnic spot or something up here. And there's some benches. Here we have the shot of the end of the island. And you're coming up on one of the 3 bridges. And over here is the Grand Community Church, an icon here in Longview. Well, here's a community church. I think it's the most beautiful church in Longview. It's an old one too. So there's the main bridge across Lake Sacagawea, the one that gets all the traffic. Look at this beautiful tree. On the other side of the lake, behind these trees, is the St. Rose Catholic Church. And here we have a little peninsula. Sticks out into the lake. And on the other, at the end of the tip of the peninsula is the last island. Yeah, you can see the island now. I think this is the smallest of the islands. And here we have another playground for the kiddies. Children, I would say preschool age, or maybe up to 8 or 9 years old. And I see a sign over there that says kayak rentals available. So that's who we saw on the lake. He rented a kayak here. So this park is the Elks Memorial Park. I used to play here when I was a child. They had some big slides. Oh, they're too dangerous for children now. Okay, there's the end of the park. They have a covered basketball court for people to enjoy. And look at this beautiful stretch here. Which brings us to probably the oldest bridge over the lake, and the one that gets the least use. Here's another shot of the same spot coming up to the bridge. Okay, here we are at the beginning of the final portion of the lake. Yeah, there's always somebody on the jogging paths enjoying the beautiful lake. Okay, well, our lake tour ends here. This is the final section. You can see the end of the lake. Oh, look at the reflection in the lake of the, we hit it just right. the right time of day to get a good reflection shot. And there's a shelter on the other side for picnics. Lake Sacagawea. This is what makes Longview a great place to live. Plenty of park. This end gets very little activity. So at this end of the lake, we have the St. John's Medical Center, or as we call it, the St. John's Hospital. Let's have a better look of the building. And here we have 2742 First Street. This is the first place our family lived when we moved to Longview together after living in Cold Creek. This house is very unusual because it's a twin with the neighbors. They were both built at the same time. They share the driveway, and they used to each have a sawdust heat. So a big truck would come and dump a big load of sawdust in between the houses, and you would have to shovel it into your basement through a trap door, and that's how you heated your house back in those days. Then we had it converted into a gas furnace. It was a nice house. 3 bedrooms, 1 bath. Actually, it was 4 bedrooms. Yeah. My dad had a music room that was a bedroom. He built a garage in the back. Looks like they've upgraded the garage. Here we are at 2949 Garfield Street. My parents bought this house when I was in 8th grade. And when I was in my early 30s, I bought it from them. I fixed it up, sold it in 1987. I planted those bushes there. Look how tall that one got over the years. Well, they've added a tree over here. Yep. Many memories from this house. So here we are at 2819 Garfield. This is a house that my first wife and I had constructed back in 1976. It's been upgraded quite a bit here, and I was lucky enough to get a tour.